This is the last time I'm going to make a video regarding Travis Scott and what happened with Astroworld. But this is a news article that I've been seeing across the internet regarding the 9-year-old boy that's on life support. Now, the first question that came to my mind was, why was a 9-year-old at this concert? Why was he there? Now, another question I had asked was, where were the parents, and why did the parents allow this 9-year-old to play on the Devil's Playground? And I call it the Devil's Playground because you have young people that was there that referred to it as demonic. The whole energy was demonic. If you listen to this dude's music, you would know that it's demonic. Even looking at his flyers for this performance, it was demonic. But they allowed their 9-year-old son to go there. Now, according to Breitbart, the 9-year-old boy was with his father. I'm going to read a portion of this. A 9-year-old boy who attended rapper Travis Scott's Astroworld Music Festival in Houston, Texas, is reportedly fighting for his life after he was gravely injured during the event's fatal stampede. Ezra Blout's father spoke to ABC 13 Houston about his son, who he said is on life support and in a medically induced coma. Ezra was sitting on his father Treston's shoulders when the stampede hit. Treston reportedly passed out from the chaos of the event, causing Ezra to fall off his shoulders. The boy was then apparently trampled by the crowd, sustaining injuries to major organs and causing brain swelling. And then it says, Treston Blout said that when he regained consciousness, Ezra had already been taken to the hospital. So my question is, how is this Travis Scott's fault? Why is he to blame? And I sincerely believe that many of these people that's talking about lawsuits are not really concerned about their family members. They don't care anything about their kids. Because if they did,
please try again.
Because if they did, they would not be concerned at this time about lawsuits. Especially if Travis Scott had came out and said he was going to pay for their medical bills, he was going to pay for their funeral, and then he gave all of their money back. Those that wanted their money back, they can get their money back from that so-called festival. But yet, people still want to sue this early. So it makes me wonder, are they really concerned about the death of their loved one, or are they mostly concerned about a payday? Because no money, if you love your family member that lost their life or was injured, no money could ever replace that individual. But yet their only concern is lawsuit. But again, why was this 9-year-old boy there? When my sons were 9-year-old, they were definitely not at no demonic concert like Travis Scott. They were not there. That's not a place for children to be. You take your child to places that are on the same level as their age. Why would you take your child on the Devil's Playground? And then when the devil shows up, now you want to blame the devil for your own choices and actions. Nobody told them to go there. They went on their own. This is not Travis Scott's fault. He had nothing to do with this. I'm going to share a story with you that happened, like I say, back in the early 90s. I had taken my son's mom to a Puerto Rican Day parade in New York City. It was right down in Times Square. And all of a sudden, and now keep in mind, she's not from New York City. She's from like upstate New York, Elmira area, right? And so she's not used to that type of crowd. So I took her there and we were like arm to arm. It was just like maybe this so-called festival. I mean, it was packed. And all of a sudden people started somewhat stampeding. They were pushing, you going back and forth. She was about to fall. I grabbed her to keep her from falling, because had she have fell, she would have been stampeded. Now, just say hypothetically speaking, she fell and she was stampeded, or she was injured or lost her life. Would that be the fault of the ones that were in charge of that Puerto Rican Day parade? Were they at fault of that? Could they be sued? Or was it the fault of the crowd or whoever started stampeding or pushing? So it's the same way with Travis Scott festival. When he's up there performing, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have never been before a massive crowd, especially like that, and you have the performance going on, you caught up in that energy, the music is loud and blasting and people are going crazy, and especially if you're looking from the stage, in most cases you can't even see out in the audience. When you're performing, you cannot see out in the audience because of the lighting. So Travis Scott more than likely had no idea a lot of that stuff was going on. And people were saying like, well, he should have stopped performing. He should have stopped playing. Why? That's what he was there for. So because he refused to stop performing, and because of the fact that he went to an after party, now he's at fault. Whereas a lot of these young people that were there really had no business being there. Like this 9-year-old boy. So this is the fault of the parents that allow their kids to be there. And it's the fault of the young people that started stampeding. In my mind, it goes back to this whole George Floyd protest. When they were doing the same thing on Black Friday, they did the same thing on Target with this whole George Floyd protest. They bum rushed the stores and they were stealing stuff. The Apple stores, they bum rushed it. So who was gonna, even if they had trained security, who was gonna stop that stampede? Who was gonna be hero enough? Who was paid enough to stand in front of that stampede to try to stop it? So I think people are so unreasonable, and I'm not defending Travis Scott. The dude is evil. He's got an evil nature. His spirit is evil. I don't care how much people say, oh, he don't know anything about the occult, or he didn't. The dude is evil, because when you put music out there, music, the energy of the music that a person put out there is energy coming from them. That's a part of them. So if you have the mentality, or say if you like jazz, well, when you blow that saxophone, you're gonna create a certain reaction from those that hear that jazz. It's gonna mellow them out. It's gonna put them in a relaxed mood. If you have an R&B artist they're going to respond according to that energy of that R&B music. Acid rock, they're going to have a different experience, a different reaction. So when you put that Satanist in energy out there, what do you expect to happen when you're on the devil's playground? And I always say, you play on the devil's playground, one day the devil will show up. And the devil showed up at this festival. And being at this festival, where was the food? Like I heard someone mention, the food was everyone that was there. Everyone that paid their money to go to this festival, you were being feasted on. That's why when you walked into that whatever it was, that monument with the mouth open, you were being gobbled up. So you willfully went there. It's unfortunate what happened. It's unfortunate that so many people lost their lives or got injured, but you chose to be there. That's not the fault of Travis Scott. He's the performer. But like I said, you have people that's gold diggers, and this is their way of looking for a payday. Now, if I was Travis Scott, I would have never given you your refund. You know, I wouldn't have given no refund. Why? And especially if he was being nice enough to pay for the funeral and pay for your medical costs. But again, you have greedy people out there that want to get paid. It's not his fault. So with this 9-year-old boy, that falls on the father's shoulders, because he took his son there. He put his son in that environment. He was the one that fell out because of the excitement or energy that was going on. And he was the one that dropped his son. And his son ended up being trampeded. Like I mentioned about my son's mom. If I didn't grab her by her hands and grab her close to me, she would have been stampeded. Because she wasn't used to that, all that thronging and pushing and shoving. You know, because it got kind of wild in that certain area. But if anybody got hurt, it wasn't the fault of those that was in charge of that Puerto Rican Day Parade. So, feedback, tell me what you think. I know there's some people that feel some kind of way, and it's sad because on Facebook there were adults that were talking about, oh, what's wrong with a child going to a concert? Well, that wasn't for children. Now, Satan will target children. They will put things that would draw and attract children. See, they target and they cater towards the younger generation. And you have ignorant parents out there that's not aware of the spirit world. And I'm almost definite there's a lot of church folk that had their kids there. And they're looking at that like, oh, there's no harm in it. It's geared towards or directed or targeting children. And you allow your child to go there. Or you took your child there on the devil's playground. And when the devil showed up, this is the result. And now you want to blame Travis Scott. So feedback, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm fearless.